Hello everybody, this is John here, and I just wanted to make a little video to show you some of the things that I had intended on showing at the Coder Dojo session on Monday, but unfortunately we ran out of time and things went slightly against us in terms of demonstrating everything, so I just want to do it here in a video and allow you to have a look at that and have a play with some of the features before the session next Monday, hopefully, and then if you have any questions, we'll be able to move forward and make a bit of progress that way. Anyway, what I was trying to show you on Monday was this library of code called Playground Project. Now I'm working on an assumption here that people got that much installed, and we're going to work from there. So here I have a blank scene, and you'll see here from the assets folder that we have, prefabs, scenes. Well, actually, sorry, you won't have the scenes one, but scripts, attributes, conditions, sprites, so forth. These are all parts of the Playground project library that you would have installed. And because you've got these, there's some nice things we're able to do without having to do too much programming to start with and make a game. So I just wanted to show you, I suppose, the basics of a very simple game. The idea was to have a kind of a platform, maybe Mario type game, a guy jumping around collecting coins. That's what I was trying to aim for. And then what I wanted was everybody to take it from there and use your imagination and make the game your own, basically. So I just wanted to get you started and then let everybody off making the game their own, and we'll see what we get and see what people come up with. So what I was trying to show you the last day is, to start off with, we'll have a character. So if we go down to sprites, and then we go down to characters, then we pick a character. It doesn't really matter which one. I used Dude2 the other day, so I'll stick with him and just drag him across over here to the scene. And what I'm going to do with my dude here is, first thing I'm going to do is just rename him. So I click here, I can say rename. Okay, should do. Hang on a second. There we go. Player. Okay, so I'm just calling him player so that we can see that that object is now the player. Now, if I press play at the moment, not a whole lot's going to happen. He just sits there. I can press keys, nothing's happening at all. So I'll come back out of play mode. What I want this guy to do is I want him to move around when I press the keys. We'll start with that. So here in scripts, and then down to movement, we have one here called move with arrows. So while I'm still clicked on player here, player still selected, I'm just going to drag and drop move with arrows down here underneath the inspector list of components that are part of player. So I drop it in there, and it's added on move. The script was called move with arrows, but because it knows that script needs the object to have a rigid body, it's added in a rigid body 2D, because this is a 2D game as well. Now if I press play at this stage, what happens? Oh, gravity acts on our player, so I come out of that, he falls down to the bottom of the screen. So that means I need something else for him to land on, so he's going to need a platform of some type. So what I'm doing here is go back down to sprites, I go down to blocks, say stone, and I'll take this one here, stone, or element stone 13. I'm just going to drag that across, and I'm going to put it down here towards the bottom of the scene, and I'm just going to move it across here. So it's going to be like a platform, the ground basically, that's what it's going to be. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to change the name of it, and I'll call it, well, I'll call it border, because what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put some of these all the way around to capture the player so he doesn't fly off into the unknown. So I'll just call it border, return. And now what happens if I press play? Well, not exactly what I wanted. Man, dude keeps on going through the ground. So that means I need to add a collider to the ground. That's where kind of things went wrong there in the demo and in the session. So if we click on border, what we want to add here is a component, physics 2D, and it's kind of a boxy shape, so we'll add a box collider 2D. So that will mean now that when we press play, well, we'll just check what happens, because I'm not sure if the player has a... No, it keeps on going. We need both the ground and the player to have a collider. So click on player, need to add a collider to him too. So say add component, physics 2D. Now he's not exactly a box shape, so I'll say this one here, polygon collider 2D. It's kind of a better fit, you can see here, for his shape. So that means now, when we press play, what I'm expecting to happen, and hopefully this will happen, is he will fall down and land on the ground and stop. Yay! There we are. So now we've got him landing on the ground. We did the move with keys, so at this stage as well, if I press the arrow keys, he's moving left and right. Now, he can also move up and down with the arrow keys. Now if I take my finger, if I move him up a bit and then take my finger off it, gravity will kick in, and back down he comes again. Now for a platform game, I don't necessarily want him moving around like that. I want him kind of stuck on the ground, but able to jump a bit more like real life. So come out of play, and what I'll do is I'll come back to movement, and there's another script here. Actually, first of all, make sure player is clicked. In the inspector window, go down to the bottom where it says add component, because that's where I need to drag what I'm going to add. So anyway, clicking on player, there's a script here called jump. So I'm just going to click and drag that down here to where it says add component. You get a little green arrow. So it's going to add that in. So what happens here now? In the jump script, it says the key that's going to use is the spacebar. It's giving a jump strength of 10. And this one here is saying check ground. So that's saying that well, you can only jump if you're on the ground. And the way it works is that everything has a tag. All the objects, you can add tags to them. And it's saying that is it on the ground or not. If it's colliding with something that has a tag ground, then he's on the ground and he can jump. So that just tells us something we need to do. So I will press play again, see how we're getting on. He lands down the ground. Okay, he's able to jump. He's able to jump very high, this guy, because that's landed 10 up. But now it's not actually... He jumps once, but then he's not jumping again, unfortunately. Now, the arrows are still allowing him to go up and down, every kind of direction. Oops, there he goes. He's gone. So that's still not exactly what I want. So what do we do now? I will need to go, first of all, turn off the fact that he can go any direction with the arrows. So clicking on player again, over to the inspector window, to the component that says move with arrows. It says here movement type all directions. No, I don't want that. I just only want horizontal, so it's just left and right. He's not able to go up and down. And then what else now will we do here? The jump script, he's jumping a bit high, so I'm just going to change that to 5, the jump strength. Let's check for the ground. So okay, I need to go over here to border, and I'm going to tag that here as ground. There we go. And actually player, for that matter, I'm going to tag him as well, that he is player. Okay. Now the reason I'm tagging him as player is that you may have seen we had this an automatic background or a user interface is called, saying, you know, health and score and things like that. I want to add that in now, and what I can do is I just go up here to prefabs, and there's a prefab here called user interface. I'm just going to drag that and drop it across here. That adds in the whole scoring mechanism. You don't have to worry about it too much, just for this simple game anyway. Now let's press play and see how we're getting on. Okay, so he lands on the ground. He jumps, not too high. Okay. If I press the arrows, he's able to go left and right. Can he go up with the arrows? No, he can't. And he's still jumping, so that's fine. The jumping is working properly because it knows that that's the ground he's on, because it's tagged as ground. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to just extend the border all the way around, because I don't really want this to happen. Ah, where's my player gone? He's gone. So I want to keep him enclosed a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to border, click on it. Now if I right click here and say duplicate, it creates another object called border 1, and it's basically copied border, and the new one called border 1 is right on top of the old one, so you can't really see the difference, but it's already selected. Now I just want to move it, so I'm going to click up here with the arrows because I want to move it in a straight line, and click on the yellow line here so I can move it straight up. I'm going to move it up to the top, so there's a limit on the top and there's a limit on the bottom. Now I want to do basically the same but on the sides. So I click here and I will say duplicate. Similar thing again. I want to move this down. Actually, mirror with me now. Grab it here. Okay, I can move it any direction here. Now it's not exactly the shape I want, so I'm just going to resize it because it's at the sides. I want this one. Okay, I'm just going to put it all the way down there, all the way up there, and move it across there a little bit. So you can adjust this. You know, I'm just kind of doing it roughly for the moment, and I want the same on the other side. So I'm just going to click here again, say duplicate, and I'll move it straight across here. So now we've kind of enclosed an area with a border so that our players won't escape, is the idea. Press play. Okay, now you can see that the borders are showing. You need to adjust those so that they're more to the side of the screen when you actually play. But the important thing is here, it's getting stuck. It's getting stuck in there. Okay, well, let's try that again. Okay, I think that was a bit of a glitch. It's getting stuck again. Alright, let's try this. I will... Oh, do you know what's wrong, I think? I think it's because I resized it rather than rotating it. So it thinks that's the side of it as opposed to the top of it. So I'm just going to resize it a bit, rotate it around. And then move it. I'll get rid of this one here. So delete that. And border 3. Duplicate it. Put that over here. Now press play. See what's happening. Okay, seems to be responding better, hopefully. No, still getting stuck in it. Okay, I'll have to look into that one, but we'll just live with it for the moment while we see what the story is. Anyway, the next thing we want to do is we want to create platforms, and we want the guy to be able to jump around from kind of ledge to ledge. So what I can do is I can go back to border and say duplicate again. And we'll move it up. And I'm just going to rename it. I'm going to call it, I should go over here, platform. Okay, it's not the border, it's just a platform he can jump on, this one. So, back here, resize it. I want to make it kind of thinner and shorter. Okay. And then I can move it about. And I can start duplicating this. A few of them. There, it's just an example. So what happens now if I press play? Okay, he lands on the platform, goes down here, he lands on the ground, press space, he's able to jump. Oh, he landed on his head. So we don't want him spinning around like that, we want him to stay upright. Hopefully he can stay on his feet. So the way we do that is click on player. If we go over to the rigid body component of the player, you'll see an option saying freeze rotation Z. So it's the Z axis which he rotates around. So we click on that. So now he won't rotate anymore. Press play. And he comes down. And he jumps up. And okay. Is he able to get up there? No. Okay. It's just a bit high for the pro guy. So maybe, well, we can do two different things. We can increase his jump strength, or we can just move the platforms around so that we can figure out that they're spaced in an appropriate way. What I'll do is I will change the jump strength this time. I'll change it to 7. And I think it's a little bit big as well, just because we're going to run out of space on the screen. I'm just going to resize him, I think, because let's make him a little guy. And that gives us a bit more space to work with. Okay, he can still jump though. Okay. Okay. I'm just using the arrows and the space key here to try and jump around. Anyway, there we go. There we go. It works. Anyways, the main thing. So he's jumping around, able to go from platform to platform. Press stop again. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to put a coin in the screen, so that the idea is we can go around, collect coins. So we'll start off with 1 coin, and then you can duplicate that and put coins wherever you want. So what we do is go back here to the sprites, and we'll go to items, and the item we want to use is it says coin gold, so it's a gold coin basically. I'm just going to put it here. So we'll put it there. And what we want to do is we want our player to be able to jump up and collect the coin, and as you collect coins you get points. Now if I just press play at the moment, it's obviously not going to do exactly what we want. Come back up here, and okay, he's not touching the coin at all. That's because there's no collider and we haven't put in certain conditions and so forth. So back here again, select our gold coin, and what we want to do is we want to add a component here, physics 2D, and it's collider, so it's a circle collider, given it's a coin, it's a circle. And the next thing we want to do is there's a script here in the attributes folder, and it's collectible attributes. So we're saying that this is something that's collectible. So we drag that down while we have gold coin selected. We drag this down here. Okay. So the idea of this is when the player touches the object, he will get a point. Warning: you need to make sure the associated Collider 2D has the is trigger option enabled for this script to work. So that means we have to come up here, and here's the Collider 2D. This is a property called is trigger, so we need to tick that. There we go. So that the warning is gone. And now what we can do is we can press play, and then falls down to the ground or to the platform. We'll jump up over here, and yes, look, we got a score, and we collected the coin. Coin disappeared. So the idea here is we can duplicate the coin. So we select it, right click, duplicate, back over here, and we can start putting coins wherever we want. Duplicate again. I'll put them down here somewhere. Duplicate. Okay, there we go. So let's just press play there. So jump up, get that coin, jump up. Okay, I've got 2. Alright, I'll give myself a job to do. Get up here. It's harder to climb up here than you think. Okay. Okay, if I don't get up in this, here, try once more. There we go. Hope it gently does it. Yeah, okay, and look, we fall off here. I didn't fall properly. Can I jump that high? Yes, I can. Good. Score 4. There we go. So that's the idea, is to have a simple platform game, and then basically to take it from there, and to use your own imagination and to try new things. And we'll go into more details next Monday, hopefully. And there's some other conditions and some other scripts there I want to show you as well, such as how to rotate things with the arrows. They have a kind of a spaceship game where you can kind of spin around and use thrusters, that kind of idea. So hopefully do that soon, and see you Monday. Thanks, bye.